Hi guys, welcome to Boats and Engines. In this episode we're going to be moulding a carbon fibre radio controlled boat. First of all, I'll just take you through the process of going from a 3D printed master to a mould. So first of all, you 3D print your model boat, but actually in sections. This is an example of one. We'll actually be moulding this one today. Again, this is from a 3D printed master like this, but you can see it's been, compared to that, it's been painted up and waxed. And from this we take a fiberglass mould, so that's just fiberglass laid up on top of there, then released, and we'll actually use this to mould our carbon fibre part. So it's pretty easy to go from a 3D print to an actual carbon fibre part. There's just a bit of work finishing it, sanding it and filling it to get it shiny. This is the same as what we're going to do, but this is in just fiberglass with a gel coat, and with this one we'll actually use vacuum infusion, so we'll get a really lightweight part, and at the end we'll actually weigh it to see how much it weighs, and maybe compare it to a fiberglass part. Subscribe to and check out some of my other build videos. So we actually make the real versions of these boats as well, so if you want to see how these get made from CAD right up to the actual production versions, subscribe and check out the other playlists, have a look through them. And that you don't have to 3D print your master, you can make it out of whatever you can make your shape out of. This one's actually just made out of balsa wood, so very thin balsa wood sheet. I made this years ago, so it hasn't really stood the test of time. You see the wood's dried out and cracked quite a lot, but this is actually a little radio control boat in itself. Quite jam-packed in. So you could make something like this and then take a mould from this, but 3D printers are so cheap now that you can just print it. You do have to print it in sections, so that other plug there, that was printed in 6 sections. So this mould's all prepped now. It's already got loads of wax in it, so I just put on one layer of wax. I always use wax on this mould, so that's what I'm doing. You're probably better off with some sort of chemical release agent, a bit like that. It's much easier to use, but as this has already got loads and loads of wax that are built up into it, I'll just stick to that. Now I'm going to start prepping the mould by sealing the edge with this infusion tape. next step is to put in some carbon fibre. So we're going to do, I think, 3 layers of this. This is 200 gram cloth. rough bit here which can go underneath, and this will be a diagonal layer. The next step is to put in the infusion spiral. So this is what feeds in the resin and sucks it out the other end. Normally you'd want to do this either one place feeding in the middle, then a suction ring going all the way around the outside, or two pieces, one going all the way across, so the resin's infusing across the shortest length. I don't have space on this mould to do that, so I'm actually having to do it lengthways, so I'll go in there and connect the vacuum pump there. So I've just got these little T pieces. Put them in the infusion spiral like that. That'll be output, and this will be input. I will just put on a bit of peel ply just to help get the vacuum bag off afterwards. Just trim down one edge. And the next stage now is actually to put some pleats in. So this allows the bag to conform to the shape. Moved onto the floor now just so it's easier with my infusion setup. So I've got the input pipe there all blocked off, going to that spiral tube, just gummed together with the infusion tape. I'm just doing a drop test to see if it's leaking. I don't think it is. I did notice when I did it, I got a load of carbon fibre trapped, so that would have leaked, so I put an extra bit of a gummy tape all round it. You can see how the pleats work now to allow it to conform to the shape. You just got to check there's no bridging in these corners. That needs pushing in a bit. So resin goes in there, gets sucked through, and then comes out of this spiral mesh here. You can also use an infusion mesh which helps it move across, but I'm not going to bother with this. Up into this catch pot, which is an old fire extinguisher, which again is under vacuum, so that catches any resin, so resin doesn't go through into the vacuum pump. And I've got one way valve there. And this gauge is actually wrong, 100% vacuums just there, and so in about 5 minutes it has dropped down a little bit, so I've got a tiny little leak somewhere, so I'll go through and try and find that. Then we'll put that into some resin and actually let it infuse with a vacuum pump running, then switch it off and leave it to cure. Come back to the mould the next day. We've still got full vacuum, which is good. So I'll just cut off the lines and I'll move this over to the bench and we can start releasing it. that's all moulded. It didn't come out perfect. There was some bridging in the edges, which isn't very good. And I think when I left it, the bag must have started leaking. I clamped off the lines. That's why the vacuum didn't drop, but there's a couple of air bubbles in there. But it shows you the process of doing it. And see what this weighs in at. I'll just tear that again. You can see there. It's 164 grams, which is pretty light. So yeah, 164 grams, that's really good. I think that's probably about half of what it would weigh in fiberglass, if it was high-end layup, certainly. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. If you want to see some bigger boats being built, so that's a big hydroplane mould. We're about to pull one out of that, and that's going to be the real version of that 3D printed model. Then subscribe to the channel and check out my other playlists. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and see you later.